All right, pals and gals, we're back on the Caprice. And as you can tell, it's disassembled. That is because I sent out the pump and I had it rebuilt. I had these guys do it. D&L Diesel Injection Services out of Wichita, Kansas. And these guys are awesome. This is rebuilt fully with OEM Stanadyne parts. Nothing but the best. The guy that does this, he is, I believe, a retired aviation mechanic and possibly an engineer. I can't remember. But his name's Dennis. Dennis rocks. He knocked this out in I think it was like a week and a half. I had it back. It was super fast turnaround. He also buys cores, so I sent him a core along with this one and knocked the price down a little bit. He rebuilds these with all OEM parts, and then he also has equipment to bench test them, set them up specifically for your application, and he was actually cheaper than any of the other big names. So here's their information. I'll also link his Facebook down in the description of the video. But if you have any injection pump, like old IDI 6.2, I'm not sure if he does anything with anything newer. But yeah, any of these old pumps, these are your guys. Check this out. Highly recommend going to these guys. But yeah, so now that I got this, it's ready to go. We're going to slam her back in here, make sure it runs. If that's all good, then I got a bunch of other shit that I want to do. I will show you when I get that far. Let's go. Alright, so I got the pump all installed. We don't need that intake for right now, but got everything all hooked up, and now wiggle wiggle. Key on. Hit the throttle so the idle solenoid sets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on the glow plugs. And she's alive again. No more leaking fuel. The pump does what it's supposed to. There's no giant puddle under here, minus the drip pan. That was from when I changed the oil. So yeah, D&L fuel injection or diesel injection services. Check them out. They're awesome. Pump did what it was supposed to. Let's get the rest of this slammed together. All right, so I got the intake back on and everything else all hooked back up. But if you remember, it had this top hat thing on it, this guy here, and then this factory air cleaner set on top of that. And it was like super mondo tall, and I don't think I want to cut my hood all up. So what I'm going to do is build a just a small plenum that'll bolt onto there, be like 2.5 inches tall or whatever, and it'll have a pipe coming out of it. And then since I'm doing that, I figure I might as well throw an intercooler on it right away. I don't remember what this is off of, but it was free. So we're going to come out of that somewhere over here. It'll come down through somewhere. Might have to relocate the batteries, but burn that bridge when we get there. And then I'll have to come off of there and bend around it and come over here with a pod filter probably, or maybe into a snorkel. I don't know, figure that out. And then it'll come out of that side of the intercooler and back in over to the turbo over there. Or actually, it'd be the oddverse of that. It'll come out of the turbo through into the intake, blah, blah, blah. But this thing is not wide enough to go around the radiator. And also it's got this weird ovally shape on this side. So what I think I'm going to do, it might fail disastrously, but this is the plan. This is a Duramax radiator, intercooler, and it's junk. It's busted up down there. So I'm going to lop this off, and then I'm going to lop this off. I'm going to take that and weld it onto here so it'll come straight out that way. And then that'll allow me to go, I can put that through wherever I want over there, and then I can just pipe to wherever I want to come through over here and then build the rest. So yeah, that's the idea. we'll see how many times it fails along the way, but I'm gonna start cutting stuff up and see how it all fits together. All right, so here's the general idea. Just burn that together. Should be able to just fill these in with weld, and then I'll make a piece to fill this in. And this corner, actually, no, that one's pretty tight too. So basically just this corner, I'll have to make a filler piece. Or I'll just stack weld, I don't know, I haven't decided yet. I know from an efficiency standpoint, these corners not lining up perfectly is going to cause turbulence in here and stuff. But honestly, this thing's going to make like 250 horse on a good day. I'm more worried about keeping it cool, which this is going to cool the charge that goes into the motor, helping it keep cool, because I'm going to get an aluminum radiator for it, because the stock Caprice radiator, if it's cold outside, it'll just about keep it at the right temperature. But if it's like above 70 degrees outside, she starts to climb temp if you're not cruising down the road. So I'm going to get an aluminum radiator, and we're going to do this. We're trying to keep it cool. It's not really for max performance or anything. So yeah, I'm going to clean this all up and burn her all together, and then we'll see about getting it mounted. There we go. I glued her on with the Harbor Freight spool gun, and it's uglier than all sin, but you know, it's on there. Probably going to leak in a few spots, but yeah, whatever. So now that's boogered up, I'm going to pull the grill out of this thing so we can kind of get her mocked up in there. Alright, so I took a little bit of trimming, but I got it mocked up in there. I took that whole support out of the center that was in here. I'm really not that worried about this going anywhere. There was a plastic bit connecting this that the grill screwed to. Knock that out so I can get this in and out easily, because I didn't feel like taking all of this off every time that has to come out. I just got it zip tied in for right now. I'll make some mounts to actually like put it in place once I kind of get the piping figured out and know exactly where it's going to be sitting. This side, I just trim that out, and I should be able to get a 45-degree boot in there, and I think it'll work out all right. And then it'll just kind of curl, focus, right around the radiator here, and then up to where I need to go with it. Once we're past here, I can do whatever I need to there. That's not an issue. I think I can actually trim the fender a little bit, take the battery tray out of here. I've got a different inner fender too. I might change that right away because this one's rotted out, as you can see. Hello. So yeah, I'll pull the battery tray out, and I think I'm going to try and shift it that way or make a new one. So I can tuck the battery halfway up underneath the fender here. That'll give me enough room to get that out of there. And then over here, I think we're just golden. The battery will still fit in there. I can make piping out of here. This side's gonna be really easy because it's only like 2 inch, 2.5, 2 1/4, something like that. So it's actually backwards from the way I said I was gonna do it originally, because that's just how it fit. So this, we'll have to snake up somehow and connect to there. And then my top hat will have a piece of 3 inch coped out of it, and that'll probably cross over the top or underneath that one and shoot that way. And then we'll have an intake elbow that comes around here with a pod filter. I think that should work out pretty all right. I'm gonna have to go on Amazon and find the highest quality Chinese rubber boots, or poly boots, whatever the hell they're called. And then we'll take a little while to get here. So probably call that a video for right now. Not a whole lot of progress, but it does run and drive again. If I really wanted to, I could slap the top hat back on there, hook everything back up, and we could drive it to work. But I think while it's in here and while I'm motivated, I'm going to keep working on it. But I'm going to call that a video for now. Like, comment, subscribe, and follow along to see the rest of this thing. Thanks for watching.